So in the last trading session, the price action for Tesla has been super bullish. And when we look at this trading range that I highlighted in previous videos, we see that Tesla is also trending upward. Now in the past, I mentioned how we have to be cautious with Tesla trading in this price area. However, in the short term, I'm actually turning very bullish on Tesla, and here are the 3 reasons why. Now, one of the reasons why the overall market was very optimistic on Friday was due to the debt ceiling negotiations getting closer to a deal before the deadline. Now, in previous videos, I highlighted the risk of the United States defaulting on its debt, but I mentioned that the possibility is very unlikely because politicians are not that dumb to not be able to agree and come to a deal before the deadline. This would be ridiculous if they ended up doing that. And so it's a very unlikely chance. And so as we get closer to getting a deal done and having more optimism, well, the market is going to respond very positive. However, in the previous video, I mentioned how if core inflation actually ticks upwards, well, this is not going to be good because this is going to give a signal that the Fed is more likely going to hike. And of course, the market isn't going to like that. But now traders are fully pricing in an additional interest rate hike once again, and this completely changes everything. So if the Feds end up hiking rates additionally in the next rate decision meeting, well, guess what? It won't come as too much of a shock or a surprise to the market as everyone's already pricing this in. However, if they end up not hiking rates and they actually end up pausing, well, I don't have to explain the situation that this would create, but you could imagine that there will be a bunch of rocket ship emojis. And so with these 2 pieces of news, if we have a debt ceiling deal come through, which is most likely, and the Federal Reserve actually ends up pausing, well, this is just the case for a super bullish action for Tesla. This is great! But in addition to that, Tesla is collaborating with Ford to allow Ford EV vehicles to have access to Tesla's EV chargers. Now, this of course is a win-win for both automakers. However, this is super great optimistic news for Tesla because this means that future EVs for Ford are going to be able to use Tesla superchargers. And guess what? That's just more advertising. If you go to a Tesla supercharger and you see this all the time, it's pretty much like an advertisement for this company. Along with that, that's going to go ahead and bring in more revenue for Tesla when it comes to their charging stations. So this is obviously more of a win for Tesla than it actually is for Ford. Now, it does allow Ford to be able to really expand on their EV section. However, this is definitely a huge win for Tesla. And the reason I say this is because although many individuals are speculating that AI is just a hype and it's just another bubble, what this actually does is forces businesses to actually compete and, just expand on business expenditures, because at this point in time, you can't really afford as a business to not invest in AI. And so this means that we're probably going to see a lot more businesses actually hire more employees and actually spend more money towards AI, as this is obviously something that businesses don't want to be left behind with. And so this is probably going to go ahead and continue pushing the tech sector up. And so with everything currently going on, I am bullish on Tesla, not only on the long term, but additionally on the short term as well. However, with that being said, one of the things I highlight in the Push and Profit private group is that we always have to make sure to mitigate our risk. And so you always want to make sure that when you're trading in the short term, that you're following appropriate measures to make sure that you have stop losses and that you are consistently taking profits. Now, when we're looking at things from a long-term perspective, something I mentioned on the channel a multitude of different times is that if Tesla ends up falling down, well, I'm not really too concerned because I'm simply just going to go ahead and load up on the dip and do very basic dollar cost averaging, as it's very simple and it's proven to work. However, I'm actually honestly just considering adding up a little bit more into my long-term portfolio even without a dip, and that's simply just because I'm very bullish. However, we still have to pay attention to a few more data points coming forward. However, with that being said, I want to make sure that this video is very short, sweet, and concise, and I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below, are you guys very bullish on Tesla as well with all this optimistic news coming out? And what are your thoughts on Tesla in the short term and from a long-term perspective? With that being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on this next video right over here. Take care, guys.